Let me guess. You were frail with Zach Grayson.
Yes. I know it was very stupid of me. He was young. He looked so sweet in that leather.
And now you're afraid of being exposed.
Yeah, I would have phrased it differently, but yes. I mean, you know, the police might have come up with some new evidence. He might have kept a little black book, a diary.
He kept a lot more than that.
As you found out, to your sorrow. But I mean, he could have been videotaping our entire relationship. It's all I needed. Prosecutor saying to me, "Surprise, Mrs. Hagen, you're on candid camera."
Well, luckily your name did not come up at the trial.
Oh, thank heavens. Oh, I wish I'd never got mixed up with that cobra. I thought it was going to be once around the clock, and then ta-ta. No, he started turning up at my private parties, making the most disgusting insinuations. He could have ruined me socially.
You survived worse.
Yes, but he wouldn't stop. He went on. Really frightened me. Strictly between you and me, darling, Zach Grayson was not playing with a full string of lights.
What exactly did he do, Julie?
Oh, threats, hints. Look at the horrid way he blackmailed you. Frankly, Cynthia, you had every reason to do that stinker.
What? Me?
Yes. I mean, I said to myself, if I'd been in Cynthia's shoes, I would have done exactly the same thing.
Well, I didn't do anything.
If you say so, darling.
Let's not change the subject. We were discussing how Zach Grayson was persecuting you. Tell me, did you give him any money?
Oh, a modest amount. Then I cut him off and told him I was going to Africa.
But you knew, of course, that he would be waiting here for you when you got home.
Yes, the thought had crossed my mind.
Then I guess you had just as strong a motive as anyone to kill Zach Grayson.
Look, I just want to talk to you. I just want to bounce some ideas off you, okay?
Sure, I'd like to be able to help.
Okay, look, I'm new at this whole thing, so I got to zero in on one person at a time. This time my target is Cynthia Cortland.
Better her than me.
Okay, listen to this. Palmer said she was all but ignored as a possible suspect. Now listen to these facts. First of all, she definitely had a motive. She too was being blackmailed, although she had the marriage to a millionaire at stake. Add to that, Palmer said that right before Zach was killed, she started taking shooting lessons with a pistol. Doesn't that sound like somebody who could kill someone?
Well, I know she could. As a matter of fact, she came to me with the idea of the hitman.
You think a hitman did this?
No. I think that if anybody's responsible, it's Cynthia. She did it with her own hands.
Okay. Andrew is our problem. See, she used Andrew as an alibi. She said she was in the chateau with him. He's not going to change his mind. He's not.
No, I know he's not. They may have their differences, but he would lie to save her from a murder charge.
How did we get to the truth?
Well, maybe there is a way. As a matter of fact, I know that Cynthia was driving her new Rolls that night. And I think she was at the chateau. Now, that's high visibility if I ever saw it, but let me think about it. The parking attendant, he would know what time she came and left the chateau the night of the murder.
I like this. Yeah, let's try this. Good.
The fact is, I don't know who was on duty that night.
Well, don't you have records?
Yeah, at the office. Well, come on, let's go.
Good.
Dream of putting it on the cover of Tempo without your permission and without compensating you. Actually, it's going to be very good exposure for you. It'll help your career. I mean, once people see your work, you're going to get tons of other commissions.
It's a tremendous honor. I never expected to see my work on the cover of National Magazine. Thank you. Can I show my appreciation by taking you to lunch?
Oh, you don't have to do that.
You didn't have to take me to your club last night.
Well, we don't have to keep score.
I'm not. I enjoy your company. Shall we leave right now before you get tied up?
You're a very persuasive man, you know that. Well, I do have a few more things that I must take care of before we go. Would you mind waiting here for me?
I'd be glad to. so it begins.
Accusing me of murder.
No, darling. I'm just saying you had a very strong motive.
So did you.
Are you accusing me of murder?
No, I'm just saying you had a very strong motive.
Well, it's all immaterial, isn't it? Because Daisy Cortland was tried and convicted.
Palmer stood up by her during the trial. He's got every intention of trying to get her off. You see, what I'm afraid of is that he's going to keep those private investigators on to unearth more evidence.
Well, now, what do you care if you had nothing to do with the murder, Junie?
I do not want my indiscretion divulged. Swear you won't say anything, especially to Palmer.
Darling, it'll go to my grave with me.
Bless you, my darling. You're no more a murderer than I am.
Well, I'm very sorry that Zach put you through all this.
Oh, but he put you through worse. He lost you, your husband.
You're right about that. I'll never forgive him for it, and as far as I'm concerned, he deserved to die.
So, what I say is, good riddance to bad rubbish.
I couldn't agree more. And as far as I'm concerned, whoever did do him in deserves a pat on the back.
Well, let's just hope we have the right date. Okay, here we go. Donald Devlin.
Great. Now tell me he's moved out of town and left no address.
No, that's usually how it is. No, he's here today, as a matter of fact. Went on to call Foster. See if
Great.
he's here.
Great.
Hello, Foster? Ross. Listen, do you know, is Donald Devlin out there now? He is. Do you want to send him back in here now? Okay, thank you. See you.
Boy, I hope this works. I hope this works.
I'll tell you something, this really does a lot for me. Because it's been very hard having to stand up and testify against Daisy.
Believe me, if this helps us get Daisy free, you're not going to have to worry about that again.
Yes? Donald, you know Dr. Warner, don't you?
Hi, Donald. Oh, yes, sir. I've taken care of Dr. Warner's car lots of times.
Terrific. Donald, you know what we're looking for? Some information, and we're hoping that perhaps you could provide it. We're talking about the night Zach Grayson was murdered. Now, do you happen to remember anything at all? For instance, like, did you work that evening? Were you on duty?
Oh, yes, sir. I definitely remember. It's funny about days when assassinations or murders happen. You remember where you were and what you were doing.
That's right, you do. Another thing, Cynthia Cortland, do you happen to know if she was here that evening at the chateau? I mean, the night he was murdered. She would have been driving an 85 Rolls?
Oh, I sure remember that car. And I remember her, too. Yes, sir. She was definitely here.
Is that right? Do you know what time she left? I mean, picked up a car?
Well, I know she left all right because she was in a hurry and she gave me a big tip, but I don't know what time it was.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry, Dr. Warner, but we have a lot of cars here.
No, I understand, though.
No, wait, Donald. Take your time, really. Think about it for a minute. Have you got any idea?
Well, I know she didn't close up the place or anything like that.
In other words, it was before 8 o'clock.
Oh, it was definitely before 8 o'clock.
How do you know that?
Well, Julius always takes over from me at 7:30 so I can grab dinner. Yeah, I remember now. She was my last customer before I ate.
You're absolutely sure about that?
I'd swear on my mother's grave.
Well, that's terrific. Thanks a lot, Donald. See you later.
Thank you, Donald. So Cynthia could have left, gone straight from the chateau to Zach's apartment and killed him.
And what's the next step?
Well, I'm going to try to track her down, see what she had to say about this.